Hello and welcome to a special edition of Grim Trigger Reviews. This is a figure review of Transformer Studio Series Dark of the Moon Sideswipe, and this is figure review number 25. For those of you who don't know, I first started doing reviews some 8 years ago, and my first ever review was for the Hunt for the Decepticon Sidearm Sideswipe. Due to circumstances that I no longer remember, I stopped doing reviews after number 3. Now, after all these years, I'm back, and upon reaching review number 25, I found it appropriate to review the updated version of Sideswipe. So, let's begin. So before we start, let's take a look at the packaging. So, pretty standard Studio Series packaging. So you can see nice artwork of Sideswipe at the front. He's figure number 29. On the side, nice image of Sideswipe. At the back, there are some product shots of Sideswipe in robot mode and vehicle mode, as well as the other figures in the line. And at the side is the same artwork of Sideswipe. So he also comes with display stand, which is fairly standard with these Studio Series figures. This particular backdrop depicts the Mexican standoff scene that she had with Ironhide and two of the Dreads. So you can put the figure there. If you have a lot of space, you can practically line up all your figures on these stands, but yeah, I don't, so I just keep these stands in the box. The instructions that come with this figure is fairly clear. Can't complain too much. It's not as muddy as previous instructions. It clearly tells you what you need to do and things like that. So yeah. So onto the figure itself. Yes. That is a very nice Corvette Stingray. So as you can see, a lot of painted. Well, actually, the whole figure is painted silver. And there's not much paneling. I was really surprised. So like Hunt for the Decepticons sidearm sideswipe, he had a lot of panels. If you can remember, it's like 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 panels at the front, at least 5 panels at the back. So it's really panel heavy. This guy is fairly clear in terms of paneling, and I like it. Also, aside from the silver paint, there's a lot of painted details as well. So like these headlights and this grill. So you can see there's a very There's a very clearly painted Corvette logo there. There's no Stingray logo at the side. The back, again, lots of silver paint with the tail lights. You can see there's actually 2 sets of exhausts, and I'll show you why later on. The wheels are actually gray plastic painted black on the actual tire, as opposed to the usual ones we get, which are black with painted rims. So you figure, I wish they painted the rims silver, but what can you do? Even the driver's seat itself really clearly detailed. So there's clearly 2 seats, that steering wheel, and yeah, this can pass as a dashboard. Bad thing though is like the previous version of Sideswipe, there's this big gap at the flooring, so you go like imagine Flintstone styles running whee, to move along. At the bottom, lots of robot cable, and as you can see, that extra exhausts are actually the guns pegged at the bottom. So while they're not perfect in terms of the look here, it does mean that you store the guns in a way that's not hindering anything, and it's not exposed. So I like it. Okay, so for some size comparisons, here he is with, yep, my usual comparison robot. Let me release my camera. Here he is with our usual aerial bot Dreadwind. Here he is with the first Studio Series figure we got, Studio Series Bumblebee. As you can see, nicely scaled. Again, can't complain too much. And here he is with Mark, Angry Mark on a scooter. Why so angry, Mark? Why so angry, Mark? And just so you see, here he is with the other Sideswipe we got, Siege Sideswipe. So yeah, fairly well scaled. Okay, so let me pause here and let's do the transformation. Okay, so to transform him, let me just raise my camera so we can start. First thing I do is remove these swords. So his Cybertronian blades, which will have a better look next when we do the robot mode review, is it just pegs there. So see, this thing pegs there, and then you can see that hook, those two clips there will hook to that small peg there. So that's merely a guide. Just focus camera, that's a guide, but that's where it actually pegs. So without it, it looks like a broken car. Okay. Remove it from the side as well. That's it. And then next thing is unhook the, it'll start getting unhooked anyway, but unhook the arms. Those just basically rest in there. There's no pegging points or anything. And then as you can see, this already started unpegging, so unpeg this as well. So this is just soft pegged. That is just soft pegged behind there. So yeah, just soft unpeg that there. Unpeg, yep. And then unpeg the front. That clear plastic peg and that clear plastic peg just pegs to that hole and that gap over there. Yeah. And then just unpeg the back as well. Okay, so now that that's done, let's do the feet first. So to transform the feet, we just unpeg them, so that peg just pegs to that hole, and you just rotate this down. Oops, sorry, rotate that. Oh, before you rotate that, position the feet, then rotate that and rotate that. So these just sandwiches together, but there's no pegging point or anything. Do the same on the other one. Rotate it down, position the feet, and sandwich together. No, does not peg at all. That's it, and that's the feet. Now for the upper body, so you can see, remove the guns. They just peg. That peg just pegs there. So remove that. We'll take a look at the guns when we go into robot mode as well. Camera, please focus. There you go. Next thing you do is you unpeg the top part there, and that just moves out of the way. Then what you do is fold this top bit, then you rotate this down, rotate this that way, no, and then rotate the bottom part as well. This is an ingenious way of actually making sure they're together. And then you what do you do next? Okay, here fold this down, and that peg just pegs to that hole there. So there you go. Now just complete the backpack, compress the spoiler down. Now just position this in this way, and then see that hole, that is where that peg will rest. So just rest that peg there, make sure they're firmly pegged together, and that just stabilizes that backpack. Now just push the arm upwards. It just frictions there, there's no pegging point or anything. Expose the hand, do the same here, expose the hand. Now these wings I just leave like that, but you can position it any way you want. I just leave it like that. See, doesn't look too compressed. Let's see. Okay, I can, oh, there you go. Can compress it further. There you go. Yeah, and then these chest parts you just compress any way you want as well. Doesn't really matter that much. There you go. And just complete the chicken leg, and yeah, I think we're done. So let me just rotate the camera down so we can have a look at the figure. If only you can keep focus camera. Okay, so that is Studio Series Sideswipe in robot mode. So before we take a look at Sideswipe himself, let's take a look at the accessories. He comes with these two pistols, double-barreled, some paint detail there. I think it's this originally in this brown plastic. Sideswipe so we can focus. I think it's originally that brown plastic, but this silver at the top is painted, and there's some black paint there as well. And there's two of them, of course. Again, those pegs that we saw hooked to the hands, you can actually peg these guns here for storage. So it just pegs on that hole. I do think this hole won't stay tight for too long, so yeah, when you settle on a post, just I'd avoid pegging and unpegging, but yeah, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. And then he comes with these two swords as well, which is his iconic swords ever since he first appeared in the second movie. So this side of the sword is clearly molded as a sword, although this other side still looks like a car panel. Can you do? Now this one you can store here. That same peg where it pegs to on vehicle mode, that's where this stores as well. Yeah, if you don't want him to carry it, or you can actually attach it to the hand as well. So this peg here pegs to the same hole where the gun pegs in vehicle mode. So yeah, so let's pose him with the swords first. Gun. Okay, so let's look at the details of the figure itself. If only my camera will keep focused. That's a pretty nice head sculpt, right? Very accurate to this one, although I wish they painted the crest and the head silver, not just left it as gray plastic. Can you do? This is clearly the back of the car, which is accurate to him anyway. There is this tiny Corvette logo there as well, which is good. Mechanical details there, some details picked up in silver. The legs, this is painted. Is it painted? No, it's actually darker gray plastic, I think. So lighter and darker gray plastic, not too bad. Gunmetal gray plastic there. And the feet, similar to my review of sidearm sideswipe. I wish you can hide these toesies and just make that small heel thing bigger. But what can you do? I mean, it helps with stability, but you know, it's not as accurate. This is asymmetrical, but if you actually look, I thought this was broken when I got this the first time, but when you actually research some CGI models of sideswipe, this is actually accurate. Now the arms also have these mechanical details, see, and this is picked up in the darker gray plastic. The rest is just the plain plastic. And the three-fingered hand. From the side, he is a very good profile. I don't mind the backpack. Actually, it compresses a lot and it's actually very stable. From the side, you can also see that gray piston that actually works. Right? From the back, it's not as accurate, I think. Well, what can you do? The hood of the car needs to go somewhere, right? So that's the hood of the car. And this is the rest of the robot details. There's some minor gappage there, but it's not too bad. And then there's these wings, which, as I've said, is you can position it in different ways. Okay, so yeah, let's go for some articulation. The head can go all the way around and can tilt up and down, not much left and right. This, as I've said, these wings you can position any way you want. So there's that hinge there for transformation and the ball joint there for transformation, but having both of them allows you to actually position them any way you want. You can position it that way, wanted to, or bottom if you didn't want to see it that much in robot mode, up to you. The hands can go all the way out, although going round is definitely hindered by these shoulder pads. These shoulder pads though are as I've said, posable, so there's a ball and a hinge somewhere there. Can't really show you given the size of the figure, but yeah, you can position it in some ways to help with the articulation, but yeah, there's no, it hinders the front and back motion. There's a swivel at the top of the elbows that go 90 degrees, and this hand swivels in more for transformation than anything else. There is a waist swivel that is hindered by the backpack as well. Legs that go forward, back, and to the side. There is a thigh swivel, although this is my particular figure, it's very tight. The knees can go 90 degrees, and can't go straight, and then the heels can go that much forward, that much back. There's no ankle pivot. And the other thing I wanted to notice, the joints are very tight on this guy. I was actually surprised on how tight the joints are for him. And he's so while there are hindrances, it doesn't prevent you from putting him in some dynamic poses. Okay. If he actually stands though. Stand, yeah. Just put him in the same pose I put sidearm sideswipe all those years back. So yeah, his rolling whoosh pose when he was fighting was that sideways, my base back. I wish I have sidearm sideswipe with me, but that was 8 years ago, and I left most of my figures when I migrated from Manila to Australia, so what can we do? Yeah. So let's do some comparisons. So let me pause here so I can prepare the other figures, and then let's go do some comparisons. Okay, so let's do some comparisons. I took the liberty to removing the swords. Okay, for some comparisons, let's start with the usual comparison, which is Power to Prime's Dreadwind. So if you have an aerial bot, that's how he fares beside an aerial bot. A lot smaller than an aerial bot, if it's not yet clear enough. Here he is with Siege Sideswipe, his G1 counterpart. Well, since I have Ironhide here as well, let's just put him there as well. He is a very big deluxe, so not a good comparison. Although this one is a tiny deluxe, so even beside the tiny deluxe, he's so small. Here he is with a couple of a few Movieverse figures. The Last Night crowbar, was it? Can't remember. Although his CG model is based on his CG model is called Dreadwind. And the reason I put him here is he is the same mold as the two Dreads figures that we got from the Studio Series line as well. Here he is with Ironhide, and here he is with his predecessor, Jazz. So see how he fares with his predecessor, his mentor, and this throwaway guy. So as you can see, I have them pre-posed to do Mexican standoff. Not too bad, right? And since we have the other guys here as well, let's do Bayverse versus G1 Mexican standoff. Okay. Again, not too bad. Okay, now to close off the review, let's just do the usual comparisons so we know how he fares against other lines. So here he is with Marvel Legends Paul Rudd. Stay in the middle. Let's put him at the back. Here he is with Black Series Daisy Ridley. Here he is with Angry Batman from the multiverse line. Why is he so dark, Batman? Literally dark. Here he is with Angry Mark. And here he is with newest member of my last line of comparisons. Let's move this aside. Just to give some space to Death by Snoo Snoo. Snoo Snoo. Snoo Snoo. Okay. So yeah. That's it. So final thoughts. He is a very nice figure. I guess even if you do have sidearm sideswipe, the Takara version of sidearm sideswipe, or the first sideswipe that we gotten from Revenge of the Fallen, they are bigger, but this is a lot more accurate to how he looks in the movie. There is also the Dark of the Moon sideswipe, but that one was, I don't know, it's just unpainted. Looks like a KO. So if that's the only one you have, this is really a must buy. Even if you have the other two, I think this is still this is something you should consider. Now if you collect Studio Series figures, then definitely you need to get this. Otherwise, the Hunt for the Decepticon sideswipe and the RTF sideswipe, they will not be in scale with the other Siege figures. So yeah, Studio Series figures. So yeah. So yeah. Worthwhile figure 25 review. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that has been a special edition of Grim Trigger reviews, and this has been Transformer Studio Series Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Sideswipe. So if you like the review, click subscribe, leave me some comments, click the like button, share it with your friends, and I appreciate any help that you can give me via those actions. So yeah, this has been a review, and this has been Grim Trigger. Thanks for watching.